Chris, get in your seat, man.
All right. So we're gonna start now, and yeah. So this is Joel. Joel, what are you doing?
You don't know what I'm doing? Oh my God. So my whole thing is just based on virtue of selflessness,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So yeah. So Joel's gonna be talking, and good luck. Let's give him a round of applause.
What's that? What? Oh, it's still purple. So, I mean, what's up? My name is Joel. I'm a senior here at Front Range, and most of you know that the seniors this year had a big project, and this was called the Capstone. And I think they told us about this mid-October, but the whole main purpose of this was, what do you want? And that's really what challenged me and challenged who I am, because after this, I'm going to college. I'm going to go to Metro State, and I still don't know what I'm doing. But after this, well, once I was done, I had some sort of plan. But so there was two parts to this. There was one that was, what do you want based on virtue, and one that was based on, what do you want for your career. And that was for first semester and second semester. And for first semester, they told us about this big thing about how you needed to do something, and it was different because I'm used to sitting in a desk like you are and hearing a teacher lecture, but it was different. I got to work a lot by myself, meet one-on-one with teachers, and just figure out what I'm doing. So this all started on our senior solo, and it was a day where we took off into the mountains. I think it was when the juniors had the ACT, but we had our solo. We went up to this private property, and we pretty much, if you don't know what a solo is, it's like kind of like camping, but you're by yourself and more survival kind of thing. But so we went on the solo. It was up, I think, past Breckenridge. It was pretty far, and we got off the vans, and they told us that we're going to be blindfolded, and it was pretty sketchy. They blindfolded us, and they put us back in the vans and took us up into the private property, and they dropped us off at these like little sections where they assigned us to, and they said, this is your part. Don't go anywhere else. And there was like flags that like marked where you can walk to and where you can't. And they gave us like, I think a granola bar, an orange, and I think like one water, and a whistle for just like if you get mauled by a bear or something, So, but yeah, and they gave us journal prompts, and that was pretty much what we had to do. Was we had a journal for the whole day and figure out what we're going to do this whole year. And for me, I finished my journals pretty fast, but there was one question that stood out, and that was, if you could do anything and there was no limit, what would you do? And that was for virtue and career. And that stood out to me, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I decided to do something with the virtue of selflessness, not selfishness, and because that's what I feel like I struggled in, and being selfish. And there were also other two parts to that, and that was virtue of being just being thankful and just having patience. So I'll start off, and I'll start off with a story, and this, I guess, precedes me before coming before here. And before I came here, I went to public school for 7 years, and I had mixed feelings about it. It was crazy. It was different. It was pretty great, but I remember specifically 7th grade year, I moved schools, and my first like couple weeks actually, I was bullied there for my skin color and just for my nationality. And I mean, it was just, man, like I wasn't used to that because I was never bullied before that. And then I moved to 7th grade, and I was just instantly bullied every day, and that was for the whole year. Believe it or not, it was crazy. And I actually sat by myself eating lunch for 2 weeks, and I found a group, but they started making fun of me too. So I was like, this is great, I hate the school so much. So, but I went through the year just feeling just frustrated, like, man, God, what did I do? Like, I did nothing. I read my Bible, I went to church, I obeyed my parents sometimes, and I mean, I tried to be just a good child of God, and I was just confused on why I was getting bullied, and really, I was just so frustrated. I was not patient. I actually got, even though I was obeying my parents, I actually got a lot of fights with my parents, but I had no patience really. And patience is really important in someone's life because that helps you deal with many types of people. And I mean, in life, there will be people that will put you down and you just want to scream and knock them out. But, you got to have patience and love them. But really, that whole year kind of just taught me, man, I need to have patience, really. I need to have patience with God and know that He has a plan for me. And although it may seem like He doesn't, He does. And so that whole year was frustrating, but I got, a sense of virtue of patience. And then I moved here in 8th grade. Been loving it ever since. And but what I noticed was that over the years, as I grew higher in the grades, I just noticed that we were lacking in community. And this means like going in our own cliques and excluding other students. And I myself do it. I do it with my friends, but I just thought, man, isn't that being selfish? Because we're letting other people, specific people in our group, but excluding out other kids that don't belong there. That's kind of being selfish, right? So I thought, I could do something with that. And, I thought that was just important because I've seen many shadows that come here and just not come here next year, the year following that. And it's just like, man, it's just crazy. And I had a friend who shadowed here, and he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, I'm not coming there. It's a bunch of cliques. It's not good. And that really just disappointed me because we call ourselves a Christian school, yet we can't handle something like this. And it's hard. I tried, bringing in other kids, but it's been hard. And that's really what I want to do this first semester. And so I partnered with Mr. Spector, and they were doing a 8th grade J-term thing. I don't know what it was, but it was this community growth thing. And I shadowed them and just saw how they taught the class and how they just interacted with them and talked about community growth. And I was actually going to teach a class a couple days later, so I had to get that experience and had to figure out what I was going to talk about. And so I sat in and just watched them do activities and the lesson plans and all that. And then I think Tuesday I figured out what I was going to do and what I was going to teach them. And then Wednesday came in and taught the class. And I taught a story that I had some trouble with a friend and how that quickly changed by being selfless and forgiving each other and loving each other. And I told them that story about that time in my life. And really, they had Mr. Spector and Mr. Butler had an activity with them. And after that, I did an activity, and this was actually in 10th grade where it was Mr. Quinn actually. But you write your name on a piece of paper, and then you pass it around. And I think you write something good about them or what you like about them, and then you get it back. And that was really impactful for me. So I did that with them, and then that was it. Really, that was it for my first semester. I just wanted to do something pretty, not simple, but kind of simple, and do something with the school. Because to me, a senior means being a leader, and that's what I did for my first semester. And then second semester was the hardest one, just because it's career. And I like science, but I didn't go into science for this project. But I didn't really know what I was doing until I think it was in weights class that I was talking to Mr. Snyder and just asking him, because he does PE with the students here, and just asking him, hey, can I just shadow you and maybe teach a class? And so he said, yeah, and I prepared for that. I shadowed him, I think, Monday. I came in. It was the 7th graders, but I came in to the gym and just saw how he taught the class and just how he just did his career. And I asked him some questions on how does he deal with students that are acting up and just some teacher questions. And then I was actually planning on teaching a class with him, but that did not work out. I got to help him though. They did some game, and I helped him out with that. But it wasn't. He didn't really want me to teach a class because he had some plans. So it was disappointing that I didn't get to teach it. But I still helped him out, and that's where my third virtue comes in, and that's being thankful. Because in life, you're not gonna have everything that you want, and you just gotta be thankful for what you have. I'm from India, and so are you. And you know what it's like when you go back to India. It's it's pretty there's really a lot of poor people there, that don't have homes. That I mean, I saw one guy who's living in this box with no shoes, no clothes. I think he had like this burlap sack like shirt, and it was just like things like this that I take for granted of, and it's like we're really grateful, especially this school. I mean, I know like I don't like the school as much, but and I don't like school in general, but I mean I'm really thankful for it because not much people get to have an education in like countries like that, and so that's where my third virtue came in, and I guess I chose two because, or chose three really, but chose two additional because patience and thankfulness, in my opinion, comes really key into being selfless and having patience for others who you may just not like and you may have like disagreements with, but just having the patience to know that God is in your life and that you just gotta ignore it, but like show your love towards that person as well. And that's really what I did. As a senior, I think it's what is it like 2 more weeks left of school. I think I don't know, but it's pretty sad leaving the school and leaving my friends. But I'm excited for what the future is in hold for me and what God has in hold for me, and I'm excited for the future seniors because this is what you guys will be doing, and it's actually pretty fun that our class got to do this the first time, front range. So really just being selfless, in my opinion, is probably one of the biggest virtues you can have, and it's really influential to other people because I know a guy who just like Mr. Snyder, he acts selfless. He loves everyone, and just seeing how much of a man of a God he is, and what that can turn you into, and how many people you can impact in the future. So, I mean, it's pretty short. I'm sorry. I didn't have a big year, but a lot of things didn't go my way. But I'm really happy that I got to help out the school, help out the younger classes, and just hopefully this impacted you for what you guys have in the future. Oh, I forgot you were there. So, Justin, do I got to repeat that in this, or?
Yeah, sure.
What'd you say? Oh, is there any other careers that I look more into? I mean, like I said, I like science, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to major in biology, and I'm going to see where that takes me. But, I mean, I look from, like, aerospace engineering, from being a pilot, which is what Jacob wants to do. I mean, really just, like, from what Snyder does, like, weightlifting kind of stuff, like weightlifting instructor, like PE kind of stuff. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. So, I honestly don't know. So, like I said, it's God's plan. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's a tongue twister. So how can being selfless like impact others? Or so I mean, in my opinion, when you're selfless, like you show like you help people out, right? So I mean, like you show God's love, and you're like, man, like that guy helped me out, and he wasn't thinking about himself, he was thinking about me. So you're just showing God's love, and I mean, in my opinion, like I had many people did that, and that was just impactful for me because it's like they put out their way to help me out, even though they have stuff to do, and I mean, like I don't know, that's just for me, it's really impactful, but I don't know.